was, Mr. Tate?
Well, I was called.
To the jury, Mr. Tate.
I was fetched
Who called?
I was fetched by Bob Ewell yonder one night.
What night?
It was the night of November 21st. I was just leaving my office to go home when Mr. Ewell came in and said he was very excited. He said his daughter was raped by a nigger.
Did you go?
I certainly got in the car and out there as fast as I could.
And what did you find?
Found her laying on the floor in the middle of the front room. She was pretty well beat up. She said she was alright. I asked who hurt her. She said Tom Robinson. I asked her if she'd taken advantage of it, and she said yes. So I went down to Robinson's house and brought him back. That's all there was to it.
Thank you.
Any questions? Atticus?
Yes. Did you call a doctor, Mr. Tate?
No, sir. Didn't call a doctor, no, sir.
Why not?
Well, I can tell you why I didn't. It wasn't necessary, Mr. Finch. She was mighty banged up and something sure happened. It was obvious.
But you didn't call a doctor? While you were there, did anyone send for one? Fetch one? Carry her to one?
No, sir.
He answered the question 3 times. Atticus, he did not call a doctor.
I just wanted to make sure, Judge. Sheriff, you say she was mighty banged up. In what way?
Well,
Just describe her injuries, Heck.
Well, she was beaten around the head. There are the bruises coming on her arms, and it all happened about 30 minutes before.
How do you know?
So, that's what they said. Anyway, she was pretty bruised up when I got there, and she had a black eye coming.
Which eye?
Let's see.
Can't you remember?
Oh, it was her left.
Wait a minute, Sheriff. Was it her left facing you? Or her left facing the same way you were?
Oh, yeah, that make it her right. It was her right eye, Mr. Finch. I remember now. She was pretty banged up on that side of her face.
Sheriff, please repeat what you said.
It was her right eye. It was her right eye, Mr. Finch. I remember now. She was pretty banged up on that side of her face.
What side again, Heck?
The right side, Mr. Finch. But she had injuries other parts of her body. You want to hear about them, too?
Yes. What were her injuries?
Her arms were bruised, and she showed me her neck. There were definite finger marks on her gullet.
All around her throat? The back of her neck?
I said they're all around, Mr. Finch.
You would?
Yes, sir. She had a small throat. Animal could have reached around and gotten her.
Just answer the question. Yes or no?
Mr. Gilmore, next witness, please.
Bob Ewell?
That's me, Captain.
Are you Mayella Ewell's father?
Well, if I ain't, can't do nothing about it now.
Are you Mayella Ewell's father?
Yes, sir. This is the first time you've been in court? I don't recall ever seeing you here. Well, let's get something straight. There'll be no more audibly obscene speculations from anyone on any subject in this courtroom as long as I'm here. You hear? Mm-hmm. Alright, Mr. Gilmore.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ewell, can you tell me what happened on the night of November 21st?
Well, November 21st, I was coming from the woods with a load full of kindling. Just as I came to the fence, I heard males screaming.
What time was it, Mr. Ewell?
Just before sundown. Anyway, I heard her screaming.
Yes, she was screaming.
Well, Mel was raising holy racket, so I dropped my load and ran as fast as I could to the fence. But I got stuck. So just when I got distangled, I kept running back to the house. I found that nigga yonder on top of my girl.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What's wrong with him?
There has been a request that this courtroom be cleared of all spectators, or at least the women and children. That is a request that will be denied for some time being. People generally see what they look for and hear what they listen to, and they have the right to subject their children to it. But I can assure you of one thing. You will receive what you hear today in silence, or you will leave this courtroom. But before you leave, you will be brought up to me on contempt charges. Mr. Yule, you will keep your testimony under Christian English usage. Proceed, Mr. Gilmore. Did you see the defendant having sexual intercourse with your daughter? Yes, I did.
You say you were at the window.
Yes, sir.
How far is it from the ground?
About 3 feet.
Did you have a clear view of the room?
Yes, sir.
How did the room look?
Well, it was all slung around like there was some kind of fight.
What did you do when you saw the defendant?
Well, I tried to get into the house. He ran out the door just ahead of me. I was too distracted about my elder to run after him.
Then what did you do?
Well, I ran for Tay as quick as I could. I knowed who it was, alright. He lived down yonder in that nigger nest. Past the house every day. I've been telling the city to clear that nigger nest for 15 years now. They're too dangerous to live around.
Thank you, Mr. Yule. Just a minute, sir. Can I ask a question or two?
Yes, sir.
Folks were doing a lot of running that night. You say that you ran into the house, you ran to the window, you ran inside, you ran to Mayella, you ran to Mr. Tate. Did you, during all this running, run to a doctor? I've seen what happened, but there's only one thing I don't understand. Weren't you concerned about Mayella's condition?
I most positively was.
No, I mean her physical condition. Did you not think the nature of her injuries were serious?
I've never called a doctor in my life. It'll cost me some $5. That all?
Mr. Yule, can you read and write?
I positively can.
Can you write your name and show it to the court?
I positively will. I didn't think I signed my relief checks.
Let the court see that the witness is left-handed.
So, what does me out being left-handed have to do with anything? I can do anything with one hand just as good as I can do with the other.
Thank you, Mr. Yule. Mayella Yule to the stand.